In the world of geopolitics and advanced technology, every action can set off a chain reaction of unexpected outcomes. Decisions made in government halls ripple across continents, shaping industries and futures in ways no one can fully predict. When Washington decided to restrict the export of advanced engine technology to China, the intention was clear: to ground Beijing's aerospace ambitions, particularly the development of the COMAC C919, China's answer to Western aviation giants. The goal was to keep China's aviation dreams firmly on the tarmac, ensuring that U.S. companies would maintain their technological edge and global dominance in the skies for years to come. Yet, by December 2025, the world witnessed a surprising twist. The outcome was the exact opposite of what policymakers had envisioned. Rather than stalling progress, the sanctions ignited a powerful surge of national determination. China responded with massive investment in research, development, and self-sufficiency, rallying engineers and industry leaders to a common cause. The looming threat of being cut off from Western engines didn't halt the C919 project. Instead, it became a catalyst, accelerating China's drive to create a reliable, homegrown alternative, faster than anyone thought possible. What was once seen as a distant, almost unreachable goal suddenly became reality. The very pressure designed to hold China back ended up propelling it forward, transforming ambition into achievement. The policy that aimed to preserve a competitive advantage for the West has, in fact, created a formidable new rival on the global stage, one that is now challenging the status quo. China has turned what was once a vulnerability into a wellspring of strength and innovation, pushing the boundaries of what its engineers and manufacturers can achieve. The C919's engines, now increasingly designed and built in China, represent more than just a new aircraft. They signal the dawn of a new era in global aviation, one where the balance of power is shifting. In a twist of fate, Washington's ban may have accelerated this transformation, launching a new chapter in aviation history sooner than anyone could have imagined. To grasp the C919's significance, you must understand its origins. Built by COMAC, the C919 is China's answer to the Boeing 737 and Airbus A320, symbols of Western dominance. Initially, the C919 relied heavily on Western suppliers for critical systems, including avionics, landing gear, and especially its engine, the CFM LEAP 1C. This global supply chain let China launch its airliner quickly, but created a major dependency. The LEAP engine, a US-French marvel, gave the C919 world-class performance, but also exposed it to geopolitical risk. The entire project hinged on stable access to Western technology. Any disruption threatened the viability of China's multi-billion-dollar aviation ambitions. Washington saw this dependency as leverage in the escalating tech rivalry. The CFM LEAP 1C engine is a pinnacle of Western aerospace innovation, prized for its efficiency and reliability. For the C919, it was the ticket to global markets. U.S. restrictions on exporting these engines sent shockwaves through the industry, citing national security and fears of reverse engineering. China's reliance on the LEAP engine became a strategic liability overnight. Western suppliers faced a dilemma: comply with sanctions and lose business, or risk political backlash. The mere threat of a supply cutoff forced China's hand. COMAC and Beijing realized they couldn't build their flagship jet on shaky ground. The time for a backup plan was over. A domestic solution became urgent. The engine ban transformed a technical advantage into a catalyst for independence. The engine export ban was just one piece of a much broader U.S. strategy designed to contain China's rapid technological rise. American policymakers saw the growing capabilities of Chinese industries as a potential threat to both national security and economic dominance. By restricting access to critical technologies, the U.S. hoped to slow China's progress and maintain its own leadership in innovation. Washington viewed China's ambitious Made in China 2025 plan as a direct challenge to American leadership in high-tech sectors like aerospace, artificial intelligence, and advanced manufacturing. The plan's goal to achieve self-sufficiency in key technologies raised alarms in the U.S., prompting a series of defensive measures. The C919 was seen as a Trojan horse, civilian on the surface, but a potential conduit for military tech transfer. U.S. officials worried that technology shared for commercial purposes could easily be adapted for military use, blurring the line between civilian and defense industries. Advanced jet engines are considered national treasures, representing decades of research and billions in investment. Letting a strategic rival access them was deemed far too risky, as it could erode America's technological edge. Sanctions and export controls were framed as necessary steps to protect U.S. innovation, intellectual property, and national security from potential exploitation or theft. There was also a powerful economic motive. Slowing the C919's development would help protect Boeing's market share in the lucrative global aviation market, where competition is fierce. Every C919 sold in China or abroad meant one less order for Boeing or Airbus, threatening the dominance of Western aerospace giants and the jobs they support. By targeting COMAC, the U.S. aimed to defend both its national security interests and the competitiveness of its aerospace industry, hoping to slow China's ascent in the skies. But this strategy underestimated China's resolve and capacity for rapid mobilization. Instead of backing down, China doubled down on its efforts. Rather than stalling progress, the restrictions triggered a national drive for self-reliance, fueling innovation and determination across China's high-tech industries. China didn't back down, it doubled down. The engine ban became a rallying cry, elevating domestic jet engine development to a top national priority. Billions poured into AECC, China's state-owned engine maker, mobilizing top scientists and engineers. The goal: build a resilient, self-sufficient aerospace supply chain, immune to foreign pressure. Unlike Western firms, China's state-driven model could absorb costs and focus on long-term strategic gains. The AECC CJ1000A engine is China's answer to the LEAP 1C. Once a secretive project, it gained urgency after U.S. sanctions. Chinese engineers tackled daunting challenges: advanced materials, turbine blades, and composite fans. By late 2024, the CJ1000A had passed key ground and flight tests. It may not yet match the LEAP in every metric, but it works. And it's Chinese. For domestic airlines, a slightly less efficient engine is a fair trade for supply security. The CJ1000A doesn't need to be the world's best, just good enough and available. China has joined the exclusive club of nations that can build their own commercial jet engines. The blueprint is now a roaring reality. A domestically powered C919 shakes the global aviation market. Boeing and Airbus, long unchallenged in the single-aisle segment, now face a serious rival. China's airlines, under state influence, will shift orders from Western jets to the C919. Even a partial shift means hundreds of billions in lost sales for Boeing and Airbus over 2 decades. COMAC will target export markets, especially among Belt and Road partners seeking alternatives to Western suppliers. This new competition forces Boeing and Airbus to rethink pricing, partnerships, and technology transfer. The familiar two-player game is now a complex, unpredictable three-way contest. The global aviation landscape is being redrawn. U.S. export controls aim to slow China, but instead fueled a technological arms race. China's lessened reliance on foreign tech is a vulnerability. Self-sufficiency is security. The result is a world splitting into rival tech blocks, each racing to master critical technologies. Collaboration gives way to competition, with both sides pouring resources into R&D. This decoupling raises costs and fragments global innovation. Export controls may offer short-term leverage, but risk creating stronger independent competitors. The C919 and CJ1000A are now symbols of this paradox. The US tried to keep China dependent, but instead pushed it to break free. The technological contest is only intensifying. The C919 saga is more than just the story of a new airplane. It's a preview of a rapidly changing world order, one defined by multipolar technological competition and shifting centers of power. For decades, Western dominance in high-tech sectors like aviation seemed unshakable, but that era is coming to an end. The rise of new players is challenging the status quo. China, long denied a seat at the global table, is now determined to build its own, investing heavily in research, talent, and infrastructure to catch up and even surpass. The US will likely continue to use sanctions and export controls, while China doubles down on its push for technological self-sufficiency, fueling a cycle of competition and innovation. This ongoing rivalry will shape not just global trade, but also security alliances, supply chains, and the very pace of innovation for years, if not decades, to come. Boeing and Airbus, once the undisputed leaders, now face a formidable state-backed rival that plays by its own set of rules and has vast resources at its disposal. Airlines and passengers around the world may benefit from increased competition and potentially lower prices, but this new era also brings greater uncertainty and complexity to the skies. The C919's journey from dependency to independence is more than a technical achievement. It's a powerful symbol of ambition, resilience, and the changing tides of global industry. In this new landscape, technological leadership is no longer a birthright. It must be earned through relentless innovation, collaboration, and vision. The sky is now open to all who have the will, the ingenuity, and the engines to reach for it, ushering in a future where competition drives progress for everyone.